Hello again, my Global 9 students. Miss H here, and I am here to read this to you. So if you click this link, that means you would like for me to read this out loud, which I totally get because this reading looks a little scary. But fear not, we are going to break this down and you will become the middle-aged experts I know you can be. All right, so let's get to it. Let's talk about the fall of Rome. We're starting right here, folks. All right, the fall of Rome. When the Western Roman Empire fell in 476 CE, kings and emperors were too weak to maintain order. There was a power vacuum. A power vacuum is a condition that exists when someone has lost control and no one has replaced them. With the power vacuum in the Western Roman Empire, European tribes began to fight for domination. In addition to the fighting between European tribes, there were constant invasions by the Vikings, Muslims, and other groups. This was a time period of danger, violence, and instability. Now, pausing for a second. You guys know this. You totally know this. You know what happens when the Roman Empire falls and how we have that nice split from West and East. And we know the Eastern Empire is thriving. They're loving life. They have the Golden Age. Justinian is taking the reins. We have art and architecture. And you should remember that Europe is bummed out. The Western side of Europe, I should say, right? Super violent. People don't know who's going to be in control anymore. They don't have someone like Justinian. They are lost. And meanwhile, while they're trying to figure out who's going to run this side of Europe, you have outsiders keep attacking them. So the primary concern Western Europe is going to have is who's going to protect us because we don't have a leader. How are we going to protect ourselves from all these foreign invasions? And that's where feudalism comes in. So we're right here. Feudalism brings protection. To create a safer environment, a system of feudalism developed. Feudalism was a decentralized or loosely organized system of rule based on land ownership. In feudalism, kings divided up their land into fiefs and gave them to lords. Okay, so that means these words here are the same. Fiefs could range from a few acres to 100 square miles. These lords gave fiefs to vassals. In exchange for the fief, the vassals pledged allegiance to their lord. This allegiance meant that they would raise armies to protect their own lands and fight for their lords. This exchange of pledges is called a feudal contract. This was an interdependent relationship with mutual feudal obligations. Okay, so to go over everything real quickly, feudalism comes about because they need protection, right? And the way feudalism works is you have different social classes giving each other different things. So for example, the kings are giving up their land. They're dividing up their land into small pieces, and this is called fiefs, and give them to lords. Now the lords are going to pledge allegiance to the king, right? They're all going to give something to each other. So instead of the economy like we have, instead it's kind of like a give and take situation. And all of this, all these exchanges, I promise to give you this if you give me that, that's going to be a feudal contract. Makes sense because it's feudalism, so feudal contract. All right? Interdependent, meaning we all depend on each other. All right, and last one, feudalism brings stability. So, feudalism created stability through the manor system, which established a clear social and economic structure called manorialism. Manorialism was an economic system structured around the feudal manor, right? Makes sense. Is what we just talked about in our PowerPoint. Or the lord's estate, meaning this. This is the manor. This is the land. This estate included the lord's landholding, farming lands, and peasant villages. Right here. Most peasants were serfs or people bound to the land. Serfs were not allowed to leave the manor without permission. Serfs made repairs and farmed the land. In exchange for farming and repairs, serfs were protected by their lord in the event of a war or a raid. The manor was self-sufficient, which meant that the peasants produced most of everything they needed, including food, clothing, tools, and furniture. They did not need to trade with others for their basic needs. All right, awesome. Now, here are your questions. In what ways is the manor self-sufficient? That's the last thing we talked about. How is the manor self-sufficient? They don't rely on anyone else but themselves. For B, I know it looks a little confusing, but all you're going to do, guys, is you're going to double tap on this graphic because it's actually a drawing. So if you double tap it, there you go. And look, right here, you just click and you can type, right? And then you can figure out the lines to give yourself room. Hang on. There you go. See? You can change it if you want to change the font color so you can see it a little bit easier. Ah, goodness gracious. Here we go. There it is, right? You can always change that if you want. That way you can see it a little bit easier. You'll answer the questions there. Okay. And then C, using the diagrams and text above, respond to the following question. Why did feudalism develop in Western Europe in the 500s after the decline of the Roman Empire? All right, friends, and that is it. That is what we got. If you guys have any questions on anything at all, please don't forget to email me, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.